Before we dive in, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and if you want to support my channel, check out YouTube memberships, Patreon, or my Substack. I still remember the first time I read Harry Potter. I was on a train to London, probably eating something deeply unhealthy from the station. Knowing myself, it was definitely crisps and an aggressively sugary drink, and I had the first two Harry Potter books tucked in my bag, thanks to my mother. The moment I cracked open the Philosopher's Stone, sorry, the Sorcerer's Stone for the Americans in the audience, I was gone. The train, the other passengers, even the questionable smells of public transport. None of it mattered. I was at Hogwarts. And by the time I reached my destination, I'd probably forgotten why I was in London in the first place. Did I miss a family event? Amazing? No idea. But I knew exactly how many chocolate frog cards Ron had at that point, and that's all that mattered. That was the magic of Harry Potter. It wasn't just a book series, it was a world that came into our lives exactly the right time, stayed and shaped an entire generation. The movies, they weren't perfect. Justice for our favourite house elf, Dobby, but that world was brought to life, and now HBO wants to do it again. Why? No, seriously, why? Let's be real. Look, I get it. Hollywood has a severe allergy to original ideas. But at this point, we've hit the cinematic equivalent of microwaving last night's takeaway for the 5th time. It's dry, it's stale, and it started to taste like cardboard and regret. What's especially wild is that the original movies aren't even that old. It's not like they were made in the Dark Ages, aka the pre-streaming era. Deadly Hallows Part 2 came out in 2011. That's younger than some of my unfinished DIY projects I have laying around my house. And let's be real, does anyone actually want this? Sure, people will watch it, we're weak. But is anyone excited? The films already gave us an incredible adaptation. Okay, fine, unless you're personally offended like I am at the lack of Dobby. Just saying. In which case, you have a point. But are we really going to sit through another Sorting Hat song? Another round of You're a Wizard, Harry? And, well, we all know he's a wizard. At some point, we have to ask, do we actually need this, or are they just addicted to familiarity? Here's the thing. Our generation grew up with the series. We lived it firsthand. We were there. We queued at midnight book releases. We fought online wars over Snape. Is he a tragic hero or a bitter old man who bullied children? The debate rages on. We mourned Hedwig. We all know the trauma of having to wait a year between books. And don't even get me started on the great Half-Blood Prince gets delayed by 8 months incident of 2008. It was ours. And yet, instead of creating something new for a new generation, HBO is essentially saying, hey, remember this thing you love? Here it is again, but different. You know how sometimes you go back to a place from your childhood, like an old park or a shop, and realise it's just not the same? That's what this reboot is going to feel like. It doesn't matter how much money they throw at it, it won't have that magic. Because we're not kids anymore, and that's okay. But that also means maybe, just maybe, we don't need to keep pressing rewind on the same story every few years like a bad remix of a song we already love. Let's be real. What makes this sting even more is the wizarding world is massive. It's huge. I mean, you could literally have a show about young James, Sirius, and so on, and the slow-burning tragedy that was their friendship. Tell me people won't eat that up. The founding of Hogwarts, the drama, the betrayal, the dark wizarding world show, maybe following someone around hunting down Death Eaters after the war. Literally anything other than just hitting copy and paste on a story that's already been told perfectly fine the first time. The wizarding world has so much untapped potential, but instead of expanding upon it, HBO is standing in a in front of a giant blank canvas and choosing to trace the same picture again. For what? Money. And that brings me to my final point. Let's be honest here. At the end of the day, this isn't about making a better version of Harry Potter. It's about the money. The brand is too big to leave alone, and studios absolutely love safe bets. But some things don't need to be redone. Some things are perfect the way they are, even with the weird casting choices. And honestly, the criminally underuse of Ginny Weasley, and the fact that everyone just accepted Hogwarts as a massive health hazard. Let's be real. I mean, seriously, let's be real. The health and safety people would be all over that. Can you imagine Ofsted in Hogwarts? So yeah, HBO could remake Harry Potter, but they shouldn't. You should take all that money, all those resources, and radical idea here, make something new. Or at least give us the prequel. Let's go back in time. I want to know about that. That's what most people are asking for. I've never seen a lack of hype for a show like this. So what do you think? Are you excited about the reboot, or do you want HBO to leave your childhood alone? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to support this channel on memberships, Patreon and Substack, if you want to help me fight a good fight against unnecessary reboots.